Hi, I'm Amy. Welcome to the video. Hey guys, today's video is going to be a little update and mini review of everything that I had in my October monthly makeup basket, as well as what I'm going to put in my November monthly makeup basket. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then just keep watching. All right, let's talk about the things that were in my October basket really quickly, hopefully. So I had the Nars Sheer Glow foundation in Oslo and the ColourPop Pretty Fresh foundation in 20N. I said in that video that I wanted to compare these two because they both held a favorite status in my life. This one, I don't know if you watched my October favorites. If you haven't, here's a link to it, but spoiler alert, this one it went right back up to the top for me. I love this foundation, even though I now have dry skin compared to when I had oily skin. It's more of a full coverage, kind of semi-matte situation than this one is. So I wanted to have them together and see if I can mix them. I did mix them, but I didn't really like it. I think that I really love this one for a light, fresh, everyday kind of look, and I like this one for like a full glam look. And when I mixed them, it was kind of like just in between, to where like it made things about this one look a little bit heavy and it made things about this one a little less flawless. So I didn't like mixing them, and I did do it a couple of times to see like if my ratios were just off. But I definitely did not like them together, which is kind of weird, but I do love them both separately still. But I did only get to use this one while I was mixing it with this, and I think one other time. But I did use it a lot when I first got it a couple months ago. So I'm ready to put these back in my collection. I have a sneaking suspicion I will end up pulling this one out whenever I want to do a full glam look. But it's really great to know that this is still a favorite from when I had oily skin to when I have dry skin. So I would highly recommend this one for any skin type. The ColourPop Pretty Fresh Concealer. I put this in because as a new project panner, I definitely thought I was going to pan that concealer, the Flower Beauty one, a lot faster, and it is still going strong. So I did not even get to touch this. I'm gonna go ahead and put it away, and I'm gonna try to focus as much as I can on my project pan concealer, and not really pull any old ones out. If I do reviews of new concealers, that's one thing, but I don't want to have one out because I'm just not going to use it. So I'm going to put this one away. Then I had the Milk little bronzer here, and I really enjoyed this. Actually, I'm wearing it today. I do have a little bit of a powder bronzer over it. That is my preferred method I've found of wearing it. But I do like it. I don't find that it picks up on my foundation like I was confused on maybe if it did. And I think it has a sheer enough pigmentation for lighter skins. I know they have a second color. I'm hoping it's darker because I can't imagine that this would work for medium to tan to deep skins. Like definitely not deep. I don't even know if it would work for that like tan skin is what I'm saying. I think I will put it back in my collection, and if I am feeling in a cream mood, I can reach for it, but there's no need for me to put it in my basket this month. And then I had this Juicy Pang blusher because I hadn't used this color, and I am wearing it today, and I love this color. I love it so much. It's very much like an everyday shade, and I think it's so beautiful. And then I have the Nude Sticks Naughty and Spice, which is kind of this rich burnt color with a little bit of mauviness to it. I don't think I like this formula. I think it is just a little, you have to be too harsh with it for my cheeks. I have redness in my cheeks. If I have to stab at my cheeks to move things around, like it just brings out my redness, which I really hate. Even though this covers it up, the color is very pretty. I just really don't like how I have to apply it, like the manner in which I have to apply it. So if you have like sensitive skin to where if you were pressing a brush directly into your cheeks, you have like redness and irritation, I don't think that you would like the Nude Sticks stuff. I feel like maybe I would like their bronzer because this part of my face is not as irritable or sensitive. But I definitely don't like the formula of the blush. It's just too thick and creamy and you have to work too hard. It is a multi-stick, so I can definitely use it on my lips. But I think I'm going to go ahead and put this in my declutter pile. I just don't like the formula. Let's do eyes. I put this Kat Von D color correcting base and I actually really enjoyed this. Like, it is quite dry and I feel like I can't use it in like the same way I would use the Urban Decay one. Like, it's not something where you put it on and you pat it in, or at least this one, or for me, for my dry skin. For me, this was more of a, I'm going to draw this exactly where I want to put the pigment, and I didn't really blend it in at all because when I tried to blend it in, it looked really, really dry. But I did find that it really helped the impact because it is a little bit brighter of a color. So it's kind of like secondary concealing, or like a little bit thicker of a concealer that covered up my veins a lot better than just concealer does. So I enjoyed it for that. But I don't know how much I'm gonna use it. It does have like a little sharpener, that's cool. I probably won't use it every day. But if I do anything that's like extra colorful or I need a little bit more coverage on the veins on my eyelids, I would definitely reach for this. And then the Milani Soft and Sultry palette. I did dip into this probably 3 or 4 times. I did a very everyday look. I did like smoky look. Today I used this actually to give me a little bit of a wing on this. I used the PURxRBK Raw Beauty Christie eyeshadow palette. That's what's on the rest of my eyes, but I did use the deep color here to give me a little bit of a wing on the outer corner. I definitely think this is a great palette. I'm really glad to have it in my collection. It was fun using it. I will keep it in my collection, but it's going out of the basket. Alrighty, and then in my eyeshadow declutter, I mentioned that I thought that these two would be similar shades. So this is the Maybelline Color Tattoo Eye Chrome in Beige Luster, and the Stila Shimmer and Glow in Grace. Both of these are beautiful. The formula is very, very similar. I wore one on each eye to compare the shade once actually applied, and the Stila one is a little bit more pink, whereas this one is a little bit more taupe. I looked it up. This one is no longer for sale. I feel like they kind of replaced it with their potted ones. So I'm interested to try the potted ones, but I have so much. My interest is not enough for me to want to go buy it. But I would say that if you could find something like this, I would say save your money and don't get the Stila one. But they were both very pretty. They both wore very well. I really enjoyed them, but I don't need to keep them in my basket this month. The last thing that wasn't part of my project pan that was in this basket was this Burt's Bees matte lip crayon in the shade Redwood Forest. And I really enjoyed this color. I thought it was a really great like brick red. I got to wear it like 3 or 4 times, and I wore it like on its own. I wore it with like a nude in the middle to like lighten it up. I wore it with gloss over it. It says matte, but it's not very matte. It's kind of creamy like a lipstick. I really enjoyed it. I would love to see some of the other colors that they have, since this isn't something I wear in an everyday basis. But I do think I'm going to keep it because I only have a handful of reds since doing my declutter, and I don't have anything that's really this brick red. So I am going to keep it. And then I have all of my Project Pan things. I am not going to discuss them in this video. I will have already put up my Project Pan update for this month, so I will link it here if you haven't seen it. It will give you an update on like where I am in each product. I will be keeping them in my November basket and continuing to use those. So yeah, let's get into what will be in my November monthly makeup basket. Okay, for my November basket, like I said, I am going to keep this Kat Von D eye primer out, and then I'm going to go ahead and just go straight to eyes then. If you watched my best affordable palettes for fall or favorite affordable palettes for fall video, I mentioned the Lottie London, the mauves, as well as the e.l.f. Cream and Sugar. And while I was talking about those, I realized that the e.l.f. Pumpkin would be really great. So the pumpkin pie. So I went out and bought that, and I did kind of feature this. I featured the swatches in that video, even though I have not tried it. So I have swatched it, but I have not tried it yet. So I want to put it in this basket just so I can try that out. And then the Lottie London, the mauves one, I love that formula, that palette. It's the perfect little mini palette. And then they also, I was in Target doing, you know, just like Target things. And I found this one, which is the Rusts, which I thought would be super beautiful. So it has some more like cranberry tones, a more neutral, and then a super warm, like orangey color. But I thought this would be really great, especially, first of all, for the season, but also like in conjunction with that. Don't you just feel like all of that goes together? So I picked this up, and I don't think I'm gonna do a video about either of these palettes. I don't think there's enough, you know, interest, but I do want to try them out, and then I will use them in a monthly makeup application video, so that way you'll get to see them in action as well. And then the last thing for eyeshadow that I'm going to be including is this ColourPop Single Shock Shadow in Here We Go Again. And if you watched my declutter, this one popped out, so I'm not gonna twist it, but it's like this super awesome gold. Let me just put it on my finger here. Like, look at that. It like matches the sleeve of my shirt, kind of. I don't know. It's super beautiful, and I thought with any of these like rust tones, just putting that like vibrant gold that's got like a little bit of a greeniness to it would be like really interesting with this color situation, and it's super autumn. So that is the eyeshadow selection for this time around. And then just to finish up eyes, I purchased recently this LA Girl Glide Gel Liner in this like coppery color. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. Yeah, it's literally like a copper glitter color. So I thought that would be really fun for November as well. And then for my base products, I have the Believe Beauty foundation, which I haven't worn since my very first YouTube video. If you haven't seen that, I will link it here. It's best. But I am really excited to try this again because I was wearing it quite a bit at that time, and I haven't really looked back at all. So I'm excited to try this again. And then I have this e.l.f. Flawless Satin that I've pulled out, and I have only used it, I think, 2 times. One in my Cotton Candy eyeshadow palette from BH Cosmetics. I was wearing it in that video. And then also I did a full face of e.l.f. I will link that here. And in both of those videos, when I wore this, both of the times that I've worn this, I've completely hated it. So I want to try one more time, and I'm going to do everything I can to get my skin as prepped as possible because people love this foundation as an everyday foundation, and I just hated it so much. So I'm going to try it one more time, and if it doesn't work out this month, we're going to declutter it. And then I have the Becca Under Eye Corrector. I used this in a video and maybe even a couple videos this month, but I haven't done any like real side-by-side comparison or really paying attention to how much of a difference it makes to my under eyes. And since I will hopefully be mostly using the same concealer, one of my favorite concealers, my Flower Beauty concealer, I figured now would be like a great time to really test this out. And then I have this Pro Fusion Studio Contour Palette. Now, I used to use the crap out of this. As you can see, I hit pan in this. And I haven't used it in a really long time. So I wanted to pull this out, and it looks pretty much like I've only used this shade and maybe dipped into this shade and this shade. This shade is actually a highlighter. So I want to get a little bit more use out of this, test it out, see if it's something I need to keep in my collection, something I need to declutter, and also like see if it's something I can recommend, because this would be a super affordable bronze and contour with, you know, a pretty decent range for how inexpensive it is. I do love the BH Cosmetics Contour Pro palette, but I think that one's like $11 or $12, and this one I think is like $5. So I wanted to put that in the basket so I can see if it's something I can recommend to you guys. And then I haven't seen these in a couple months. I am pulling back out my Cover FX blushes. I obviously have Warm Honey, which is like one of my favorite blushes ever. And I also am pulling out Soft Peach, which I have used a few times, but not too much. But I feel like kind of leading into the winter, I might like a softer peach blush. Let's see. Yeah. See how much deeper this one is? I just feel like I might get more use out of this one, whereas in the summer I want to be like bronze goddess, you know what I mean? So I'm putting both of those, and then I'm actually going to be putting a third blush. If you watched my October favorites, you will know that this is a favorite. It is the Tower 28 Magic Hour blush. It is such a beautiful nude color. So I've got a bronzy color, a peach, soft peachy color, and this nude color, and I think that's like perfect. And last month I did not put a highlighter in my monthly makeup basket because I know that I always reach for this Essence Pure Nude one. It is like my favorite. I love using it in multiple ways. It's so beautiful. But I'm gonna try not to touch that one this month. And I wanted to get some use out of the Becca. I have this little mini of Opal, which is kind of like a, yeah, right there. It's kind of like a really pale gold with a hint of pink to it. I've only used this a handful of times, so I want to get back into it and see if I like the formula of those, because I know people rave about it. And then I also pulled this one out, and this one is a little bit more gold. Maybe if I go a little bit more goldy in my makeup look. Let's see. This one's a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit more yellow gold, and it is way brighter. This one is the Becca one, and it is way more like natural everyday, reminds me more of the Essence one, whereas this one is like beaming highlight. I didn't even tell you what it was. It is the Lorac Light Source Mega Beam Highlighter in Celestial, and I know that I really like this one, but it is very blinding. It's a super amazing inner corner, but I just wanted to pull this one out because I haven't used it in a little while. So for my lips this month, I want to try to get some use out of my Propa Beauty lipsticks. I'm already wearing one today. Look how cute this packaging is. I love. So I have 3 shades here. So I got Finesse, which is what I'm wearing today. I also have Her Magic, which is a bit deeper and a little bit more like rosy. Let me swatch these. So I've got Finesse and Her Magic here. And then I also have Closer, which is this super deep brown, which is so rich and beautiful. This one is a bit more neutral, whereas Her Magic is very rosy. Closer is a little bit more neutral and deep. So those are those 3, and I think those are amazing colors for fall. So that is everything for my November monthly makeup basket, as well as obviously my Project Pan items, which again, if you are interested, I will link that video here so you can get my latest update on those. And that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!